Okay, so this is how I want you to grade things. I have a rubric here. This is going to be the same for everything, pretty much. And then I have some problems that I chose. This one should say y equals 60. That's the answer there. And then there's student work. So I'm going to grade one so you know what to do. All right, so let's look at the whatever this is called, the rubric, I suppose. There's 2 grades for this. You're going to add these grades together. So it's 4 out of 4 for completion, 4 out of 4 for correctness. So the category for completion, if they did 100% of the problems, they get a 4 out of 4. So in this particular assignment, they do 2 through 28 even. That means that's 14 problems. So if they do all 14, you're going to have to calculate that every time for each different assignment because there'll be a different number of problems. So here, since it's 2 through 28 even, there were 14 problems. So that's what you would calculate for this. So if they did all 14 problems, then they get a 4 out of 4 for their completion. If they did 65% of the problem, so 65%, 0.65, this is what you're going to have to calculate. 0.65 times 14, what is that? 0.65 times 14. If they did 9 problems, so 65% is, in this case, 9 problems, but they did more than that. So they did 9, 10, 11, 12, so that's 9 through, for this particular assignment, that's 9 through 13. Right? If they did 14, they would get a 4. So if they get 9 through 13, if they just did them and they showed work for them, then they get a 3 out of 4. And then you do the same for the rest of them. So 40%, you would calculate 0.40, you don't need a 0, times 14. So 14 times 0.4. That's 5.6, so I'm just going to round it down to 5. So between 5 and, instead of 9, is 8. So if they did 5 to 8 problems, they get a 2 out of 4. And so on. So it continues on. So I'll just do the rest of it. I'll write down the rest of it here. But that's what you're going to be doing every time. 20% would be 0.2 times 14. So 2, it's 20% is 2.8. So I'm just going to write it down. 2 to 4 problems, right? Because 5 is 2 out of 4. And then that's 1 out of 4. And then did less than 20, so they did 0 or 1 problem. That would be a 0 out of 4. So there you go. That's the distribution for completion. You're just counting the problems, so that should be quick. And then for correctness, you're going to grade only 4 problems, and I'm going to choose them, and they're worth 1 point each. They're just right or wrong. So that will be easy to grade as well. You just look at their answer. And I chose the problem, so I have the answers, and I'll give you this paper, and you'll have, if they wrote any of these, then they'll get it right. If they wrote anything else, then they'll get it wrong. Anything that's equivalent, I'll accept, but if it's not, then no. So there's that, and then here's the sample. So let's see what it looks like to actually grade one of these. Let's go for completion first. So every time we have an assignment, you'll have to, every time I ask you to grade something, you'll have to figure out this distribution. But these percentages will always stay the same. So this one's actually 14. These numbers will change depending on how many problems I assign. So let's see how many problems they did. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. Looks like they did all 14 problems, so I would write completion. 4 out of 4. On the top, I'd write it smaller, but that's completion. Make sure you write the words completion, or the word completion. That way they know it's a different score. And then correctness. So let's look at the problems that I chose. Number 10, 12, 18, and 26. So number 10 is negative 15.75. So that's correct. When they get it correct, I want you to put a star next to it. That way they know that this one was graded and that they got it correct. So negative 15.75, that was what I got. Number 12 is 5, so I look for number 12. This one, it should be x equals 5, I think. And if a bunch of students keep getting it wrong, then I'll like ask me or check my key because I might have done it wrong. When they get it wrong, write the correct answer and then put a slash through the number. And then that's number 18, not 19. And 0.3 or 3 over 10. 0.3, what was this? 18. I'm gonna let it go. 18. So that one's wrong as well. A equals 0.3, and then 26 should be 60. So 26, not finished, so y equals 60. I don't know if I did these right or wrong, but he would get a 1 out of 4, and then you'd write correctness. And this is one word, but whatever. And then you would write the total score on the top. I'm running out of room, but you would write the total. It'll be out of 8, so this would be 4, 5 out of 8. 5 out of 8. And then circle it. That way they know that's the score that went in. And you could put a plus sign if you're just to let them know you're adding them together. Well, maybe not. So that's how I want you to grade these. 4 for completion, 4 for correctness, and it'll always fit this key, this rubric. All right, that's it.